next, we have Discovery Metals, and we've had Taj Singh present with us here before, and I'm really curious to hear what the process is like. And they were trying to delineate a higher grade starter resource in Mexico. So, Taj, I really appreciate you joining us this morning, and I hope you're doing well, and Happy New Year.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Taj Singh, President and CEO of Discovery Metals, and we're focused on Mexico and focused on silver at our flagship Cordero project. We will be making forward-looking statements during this presentation. And just first off, what's the key message we want to leave you with here? 2021 is a transformative year for the company in which we believe we will firmly establish Cordero as one of the few silver assets globally that has the combination of margin, size, and scalability. There's assets out there that have one or two of these, but we really believe the compelling proposition for Cordero is the unique combination of all three. We've shown excellent grades over broad widths, and now more recently high-grade vein potential, covering the margin aspect. Size, Cordero is well known as one of the largest silver resources globally, and scalability is a unique one to talk about. But 9 out of the top 10 primary silver mines are underground mines, and you don't get that resource expansion as you get with Cordero, which is a primary silver open pit mine. And so I will talk to that more, but there's a significant resource expansion you can get at higher silver prices. So Cordero really has this unique combination of these three characteristics, which I'll come back to as we present. The basics, we are focused again on our flagship Cordero project, which is at the PEA stage. Silver, gold, lead, zinc. It's located in Chihuahua State on a major gold silver belt. Here are some of the neighbors in this map shown around us. Not all of them, just some of them. Cordero had a resource from 2018 of 1 billion ounces silver equivalent in the global resource. Another key differentiator we believe for the company to note is our strong cash position. We have over $80 million in the treasury, no debt, to aggressively explore and advance the project. And we actually believe we can get the project to a construction decision and have a very large part of the equity capital required for the build also sitting in our treasury already. So moving on, back one slide. Discovery is part of the Oxygen group of companies, and that keeps flipping. That includes us, Liberty Gold, Pure Gold, and Sun Metals, which is now involved in a merger with Serengeti Resources. But Oxygen has had serial success over the past decade in the sector. Built 9 mining companies, sold 5, crystallized huge returns for its shareholders. So it's really got a strong backing and a very good, strong shareholder base. Additionally, Eric Sprott, who is the largest shareholder of Discovery, owns 27% of it, and it's one of his largest investments in the silver space. And so, along with, in terms of the developers, Silvercrest and Mag Silver, and in terms of producers, First Majestic, as being his largest investments of the silver space, we're in some pretty good company. Moving on to, before we get into the details of what's happened at Cordero in terms of the work we've done in the plan, does it tick the boxes? Projects might be technically sound, but do they tick the boxes in terms of eventually becoming a mine one day? And Cordero, we believe, definitely does. First off, it's 100% owned, no messy option agreements, no earn-ins, JVs, 100% owned. Large land package. You'll see this red area right here is the area that's been worked on basically solely on the property. That's the resource area, and this is the outline of the 2018 PEA pit outline. There's 35,000 hectares around that. So for logistics, layout, infrastructure, for an eventual mine, you're covered there, and also for exploration potential. And I'll talk about that in a second. Excellent local infrastructure. 24 kilometers to the city of Parral, major highway up one side, power line up the other side. Topography, classic northern Mexico topo, perfect for open pit mining. Chihuahua State, one of the top mining states in Mexico, very mining friendly. And again, on the point of multiple property-wide targets, is something we're going to be looking at in 2021. Quite a few preliminary reconnaissance targets. Several of them are shown here based on interpreted intrusive centers, where we're going to bring quite a bit of work to, what we eventually will believe that Cordero could become a district here with multiple deposits. So a lot in the pipeline there. What's the game plan? for, since we've acquired the project, we acquired it about 15, 16 months ago. We've had kind of two key tasks to this point. It's a very large drill program, 55,000 meter phase 1 drill program to define and delineate the high grade zones and then upgrade the confidence of the resource to a vast majority of it to M&I. The deliverable for that is a brand new resource model, late first half 2021, early second half. Geology and structure will be incorporated for the first time, and the data set will include over 180,000 meters of drilling and 350 drill holes. Metallurgy is another component, and process engineering. So previous test work has confirmed simple, clean metallurgy. We're going to be doing additional test work to optimize the flow sheet, and then that will all culminate in a revamped PEA in the second half of 2021. Focus will be high grades early in the mine life, staged expansions, which again, Cordero is very amenable to these higher grades early, these stage expansions, which all leads to manageable development capex. So the most efficient way to kind of give you an idea of how the story has evolved and what we've done on it in a time-constrained way to explain this to you is we look back at what did the project look like before we acquired it. So as a frame of reference, this is the this plan map here shows the 2018 PEA pit outline in the light gray. And to give you an idea of scale, that pit is almost 3.5 kilometers long, 2.5 kilometers wide. So a giant pit, 800 million tons of rock roughly in there, half of it ore, half of it waste. It's a low strip ratio. What the yellow is showing is historical drill traces, all assays above 20 gram per ton or above. And that was what the cutoff was used for the 2018 PEA. So relatively low cutoff grade, but you'll see in these 260 some odd holes, almost every hole hit mineralization above 20 gram per ton or above. And you're getting a giant footprint here. So right off the bat, when we were looking to acquire this, we knew this project offered exceptional size and scalability. But really what we were looking for is understanding the margin potential of this project. Does this project work at $17, $18 silver? And so the next slide takes that same plan map, same data, but now it shows the 50 gram per ton or 100 gram per ton drill assays and above. And you'll see even still laying that on, you're getting a very nice, consistent high-grade domain and core here in the North Corridor, both in the North Corridor and some parts of the South Corridor. So this was really our light bulb moment. This was, not only does it have exceptional size and scalability, but the margin potential looks fantastic. And so what we've been doing, if you take this one step further, is now you lay our drilling on top of that. Previous to that, that was historic drilling. We've now laid our drilling on top of that. Only 25,000 meters of the assays we've collected so far. Again, there's still 30,000 meters of assays additionally, but you'll see we've been very successful in plugging in these gaps as we go to the Northeast and in the South Corridor. And a lot of these gaps are just related to drill density and lack of data. And so we've been very successful in confirming the continuity and extending the high grade zone. So now, if you step back, what we have is it's the exact same image I just showed you before, but now it's outlined in light orange here, this high grade bulk tonnage domain, as we call it. And that will really be the focus of the PEA coming up. And again, as I mentioned, there's assays to come to grow that potentially, to fill in gaps. That will be our focus for the remaining drilling of phase 1. But you'll see in terms of scale, you got almost a kilometer, more than a kilometer and a half of strike extent, close to a kilometer in the widest parts of the pit. That all sits, again, within the even larger pit, which offers the torque and scalability of silver prices increase. So, we really believe this project that we're sitting on, again, that light orange hatched area will firmly, establish Cordero as a top 10, probably a top 5 primary silver mine in the world. And really our objective is to show a minimum 15-year mine life, lowest half of the cost curve. And we think if we've got those things, those traits can be ticked off, it will definitely put us in a position put Cordero in a position of being a tier 1 silver asset. Now, a new part of the story I talked about in one of the early slides, one of the first slides, is the high-grade vein potential we're now embarking upon. So if you take the previous image, you take that same light orange area, I've now put in our vein traces here of veins that we've been testing. Now, these veins are here from historic artisanal workings or 1900s, mid 1900s. They'd go down to 10, 20, 30 meters direct shipping ore, very high grade ore, but never been tested for strike extent, depth continuity. And so that's what we're doing now. So we've started testing this. It's still early days, but there's been some very impressive results. We're getting very good grades, very impressive widths consistently, even as we aggressively step out along strike and as we go deeper. So for example, if you take the Todos Santos vein trend here, the one that's the most north, hole 342 and 44 were our first holes. You'll see 1.4 meters of close to 2 kilos silver equivalent, and then 1.9 meters of over 2 kilos silver equivalent. Then, since then, we've been stepping out, and the furthest step out here is hole 352, talking about 3.3 meters of 572 gram per ton. So again, very encouraging results so far. Again, early days, but we will continue to work on this for the remainder of the phase 1 drill program up to the resource in PA, and then we'll continue to work on this beyond the resource in PA to be able to include it in the PFS. And the idea behind it, again, back to the margin part of it, is you've got your high grade open pit bulk tonnage domain, and you supplement that, you enrich it with high grade underground vein material from the veins. And it doesn't take a lot of tons, to be honest, to really bring that margin up and expand those substantially. So we think that could really add a significant component to the story as well. And just to close now on this last slide, very busy year in 2020. 2021 is going to be even busier. Phase 1 drilling will continue into Q2. Met testing has started and will continue through Q2 as well. And then again, a brand new resource estimate and a revamped PEA in the back half of the year. And we will continue seamlessly. We'll be continuing our phase 2 drilling, which will lead to a PFS for 2022. And in parallel with that, we've also assembled a very strong team, property-wide team, to start building up some new targets for drilling in late 2021. So we're excited about that as well. So that pretty much sums up the discovery story on a high level. And back to you, Kai.